Hello, Scorpio. I hope your day or evening is going well for you in every aspect of your life. This is your general reading for the month of August 2024. And please like, subscribe, uh, share, comment, and tap the notification bell if you would like to see more of my videos. And don't forget to check your other placements. I am doing all 12 zodiac signs general August readings. So, before we get started with showing you the cards, my name is Shelly. this would help. My name is Shelly, and welcome to Healing Truth Tarot. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. So, Spirit has been giving me messages before the readings, before I even pull the cards. So, two messages for you, Scorpio. And they may sound like they contradict one another, but they don't. They'll be explained through the cards. First message, be wary of the unexpected approach of a stranger. Second message, you've made great strides in forgiveness of yourself and others. Take a pause to rest. You can let the walls begin to fall away. All right, so let's see. I pulled four cards actually. Spirit wanted 4 cards out of the Rider-Waite Tarot, 3 cards out of the Crystal Visions Tarot, and 3 cards out of the, Rider-Waite Meaning Tarot, and 1 card from the Healing Energy Oracle. Pardon me again. And 1 card from the Daily Angel Message Oracle. Excellent. Okay, folks, so first card I picked. 4 Cups. Strength. Page of Pentacles. The Chariot. 4 of Wands. 8 of Wands. Ace of Wands. Oh, all the wands, you guys. Lovely, lovely, lovely movement. King of Wands. Let me pull my... That's better. Now I can sit back. Okay. 8 of Swords. Page of Pentacles. That's twice with the Page of Pentacles. Reiteration, backing up. Angel message is joy. Healing Energy Oracle is learning to love myself. Well, that's kind of perfect with the second message that you were given from Spirit. Forgiveness of self and others. Okay, let's get going here. So this card, I'm thinking this is either recent past energy, or you're just about to move through it to the other side. This is about regret, partially, with the 4 Cups. But you see, there's a cup being presented, an opportunity being presented. And he's just not seeing it because he's in despair. That's a card of feeling lack. It's a card of, again, regrets, which goes with the forgiveness message from Spirit. It's a card of wishing there was more. And for you, I feel like this card is talking about sadness, in a way, for leaving people, places, and things behind, or ways of being, ways of thinking. Change is abundant right now, in every single sign, planetary-wise. So, before we get to the next card, let me tell you what's going on with the planets. we have 4 retrograde planets right now. One, Mercury, just went into retrograde yesterday, and we'll get to the, excuse me, hiccup. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Those happen every now and then. All right, so we have Pluto in retrograde until October 11th. Pluto is a planet of death, rebirth, and transformation. We have Neptune till December 7th. That is, because it's retrograde, it is breaking through fantasy, shattering illusion. It is also about spirituality and creativity. And then we have Saturn until November 15th, which is discipline, structure, and karma. So karma, because it's retrograde, karma will be dished out to people in the proper manner. If you've done good for people, then you will get good back. If you have done things that were not so nice to people, then you will get not so nice back. Not just you, everybody. Everybody. And so Mercury, I mean, it's just retrograde season. So Mercury in retrograde is a reset. You get to go back and revisit old thought patterns, old situations, old ways of being, old behaviors, and decide whether you want to keep those things in your life or if it's time to kick them to the curb, to give them the boot. There are going to be a lot of things for you, Scorpio, that you are going to make a conscious or unconscious decision to let go of. And because of that message from Spirit, anger and resentment is one of your biggies that you're choosing to let go of. Every sign carries anger and resentment. Everyone. Every human carries anger and resentment. But this is something for you, though, that's been affecting your mental health, and in turn it's affecting your physical health. So you're doing the right thing, and you're doing a great job. Spirit says you're doing a great job. So back to the cards. Now, to help you move through this regret or feeling of loss or lack is a Strength card. And it is Leo season, folks. And there's our lion, and she's not afraid. Okay. Everyone feels fear. And for you, letting go of the anger and resentments is fearful because it's familiar. It's not comfortable anymore. If it was comfortable, you wouldn't be letting it go. But it's not serving your highest purpose anymore. Fear comes from ego. Our egos are there to protect us. And Spirit wants you to know that you don't need protecting. Yes, things that you don't like or that are uncomfortable or even chaotic are going to still come at you. But you're going to get through those things. You're going to get through them. You're doing the inner work. All the signs are doing the inner work. You are doing the inner work as well. So that shadow work that you're doing is going to start, the signs of it, the effects of the shadow work, of going within. It's going to start bleeding out into the rest of your life in a good way, in a positive way. Because your energy is different. The energy you're putting off is different. So, you have the strength to do it, no matter what comes at you. And you know what? It's retrograde season again. That karma thing, that's about, part of it is about that revisiting of old situations, people, places, things, thought patterns. That's about that. Because the universe wants to make sure that you're all done with that. It wants to show you that you're all done with that. So even if you handled it in not the best way the last time it came around, now you have the opportunity, which is what people call tests, I call opportunity. So now you have the opportunity to do it differently. And you can now, because you've done the work. So, you're going to be okay. You're not going to be comfortable 24/7. You're not going to be forgiving and loving 24/7. Nobody is. But your vibration is raised so far. You've raised it up so far that it's starting to be noticeable to other people too. And they may not say that. They may not tell you that. But people are noticing. But the most important thing is I think you're noticing as well. And you are the most important person who needs to notice these things. So, what I'm trying to get at is the energy you're putting out now is affecting everything and everyone around you in a much higher vibrational way. So it's a good thing. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. Pages are messengers. Pentacles is a slow-moving energy. Now, we do have the Chariot. And they're even though this whole thing, this whole planetary situation can be slow-moving, the Mercury aspect of it is. Make friends with Mercury in retrograde. It's going to happen. We have no control over it. All we can control is how we deal with it. But anywho, even though the Earth is slow-moving energy, this is a message of something. The energy right now is kind of pivots around relationships. But it's more about the inner relationship with yourself. So you've already planted some seeds, and we don't have any cards that speak to seeing the fruits of your labor, but maybe the Ace of Wands. But this with the Chariot tells me those seeds that you're going to get a message. Whether it's a message from another human being or a message from Spirit, because you're way more receptive to messages from Spirit, whether it's that or a person or a letter or an email or a text, a message is going to come through one way or the other. It's going to make you feel grounded, because that's what Coin's energy is. That's what Pentacles energy is. It's a grounding energy. We all need to be grounded right now. So I'm going to tell you what I tell every sign. Pay attention to your breathing. Plant your feet on the ground. And notice that they're planted on the ground. Plant your butt in the seat and notice that your butt is planted in the seat. It just makes you more receptive to the messages, because you're getting messages. You guys are getting your messages in your sleep, though. And everybody's having a problem sleeping right now. There's so much going on. Planetary-wise, there's the Earth Mother is vibrating at a higher level, so we're feeling that physically, emotionally. The collective is in utter chaos out of fear. Everyone's kind of, I get a picture of it. Spirits tell me, like chickens with their heads cut off. People are running around like they've completely lost their minds. It's just fear. And I'm not saying it's not dangerous. I mean, you did. And I'm not saying this is dangerous either. But it did say, Spirit said to be wary of the unexpected approach of a stranger. Now, I don't think they mean you harm, but I feel like they're not authentic. So, and we do have the Eight of Swords. So, I feel like they're not authentic. And I think that, you know, because you're going to be revisiting some old thinking patterns and old behaviors, just to make sure that you've got those cleared up for good. I feel like that stranger approaching you, they're going to say something to you that's going to put you in this energy where you feel trapped. That's what that is. You feel trapped, but you're not. They're going to say or do something that makes you feel unsure of yourself. And then your mind is going to go right back to the old thinking patterns. This is awful. This is terrible. What do I do now? I don't have any help. I don't have any support. But she's not tightly bound. She can wiggle out anytime she chooses to. And of course, in order to choose to, you have to be emotionally ready. You have to feel that in your head and your heart that you're protected. So she doesn't have to be like this. And when she's ready to come out of that, she'll just wiggle out of it and take the blindfold off, because it is a swords card, and swords are cutting through the BS for clarity. So once she can take that blindfold off and take those restraints off, she's going to have her clarity. So you can see it as that revisiting, as I keep saying, that revisiting of something that you thought you let go of, but you didn't completely. And for some of you, you're brand new in the new ways of thinking and being. So you're going to go back to the old ways sometimes because it's familiar. Again, not comfortable. If it was comfortable, you'd still be there. But you're going to go back to the old things every now and then because they're familiar. And that's where you're going to be in this energy too. But you're going to pull yourself right out of there. You remember the steps that you took. The steps that you took were faith and hope. Those were the steps that you took. Belief that you would be okay, one way or the other. Look, we have the Fool on the bottom of the meaning tarot. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith. And that's been you with the inner work and trying things different ways. That's been you. And no one can blame you for wanting to go back to the old stuff. Everybody does. At some point, everybody goes back to the old ways. But when you're serious, because you guys are, you're determined. So you're determined to better yourself as a human being and a spiritual being. You're determined to stay connected to your source, Jesus, God, whatever higher power you have, if you have one. At least, something bigger than you. You're determined to be attached to that, to be connected to that consciously. We're all connected all the time. You're already connected, but you're not always conscious of it. And you've been more conscious, and it feels freaking good. Once you got past the initial brand new part of it, it started to feel good. And some of you are still in the initial, it's brand new and I'm not sure what to do with myself yet part of it. But you're coming out of it. So everybody, all the signs, everybody is going to be revisiting stuff that they used to do, things that they used to think, and ways that they used to be. And some people from their past coming along too. Okay, I'm just looking at that message about the unexpected stranger. I feel like this unexpected stranger is going to have some news for you about someone that you let go of already. Or someone you just cleared up your internal resentments and anger towards. And you're not going to be sure how to deal with that situation. So you're going to feel like this, confused and trapped. But it's going to be your choice whether you respond to this stranger or not. I mean, the truth is you could just tell this stranger to go away. You don't want anything to do with them or the person they're talking about. Or, if it's fitting the situation, you could go speak your truth to this other person. You might need to. If you find that you can't let go of the resentment and anger towards that person, you may have to go speak your truth. And as I always say, we don't need to be nasty. We can say it, we can be discerning. We can put a couple extra layers on that filter between our brains and our mouths so that we're not as blunt. You guys are blunt. I get it. I'm an Aquarius. I'm blunt too. And brassy. But we don't have to be like that. We could just go to the person or let them come to us on your terms, because they're coming to you and through somebody else. That's the part that's getting me. They're coming to you through somebody else because they're afraid. They're afraid of you. as they should be. But I feel like there's unsaid stuff. And you might have to speak your truth. And I know you're going to be as authentic as possible. I have a Scorpio daughter. Do not mess with that girl. Get that little stinger out and get you. Right? So, you're not anybody to mess with. But you don't give forgiveness for them. You give forgiveness for you. You don't apologize for someone else. You apologize for yourself. For your well-being. That works both ways, apologies and forgiveness. So you do you in this situation. You make your choice, and if you feel like you just can't move past it because you've already tried over and over and over, you probably got to speak your truth. Maybe you need a moderator. Wouldn't hurt. Someone you trust. Not someone they trust, someone you trust. All right, so that's that. Well, we still have the Page of Pentacles. Well, twice. We have the Page of Pentacles twice. So that's a double affirmation. That there is going to be a message in some way, shape, or form that benefits you. And for some of you, it's a message regarding a love situation or a potential love situation. And for some of you, it's news regarding finances. And some of you may get both. A double whammy all at the same time. And like I said, I was saying, even though Mercury is retrograde, and that's the hunker down retrograde, and look at ourselves retrograde, all the other retrogrades are look at ourselves too. But because there's so much, it's super intense. These are super intense. All four together are super intense. So any of those illusions that you break through, or the fantasies that you finally admit to being fantasies and unrealistic, once you get to those points, things are going to start moving quickly. So this is slow moving energy. But this is fast-moving energy. So we're going to choose to call the Page of Pentacles grounded energy in this reading. And we're going to choose to call this the fast movement. What's the word I want? Help me out there, Spirit. Decisiveness. Thank you, Spirit. That's the word, decisiveness. If I could communicate with you guys through telepathy, I'd be on that, because speaking words sometimes I struggle. So, anywho, the Chariot for you is decisiveness. And that's what the Chariot is anyway. You know where you're going. You know where you're headed. It's not a question. You got this. You guys, now listen, we can use any of their attributes, positive or negative attributes, for the purposes of good instead of evil. You guys are stubborn, and that's working in your favor. Don't take anything personally that I say. It's not meant to be malicious. I'm just being honest. Yeah, you guys are stubborn, and it's a great quality when you are focused on something that is going to better you and therefore better everybody else around you. That's a beautiful trait to have. Very nice, very nice. Now we have the Four of Wands. Like I was saying, some message in regards to relationships. He loves her. She loves him. That's happiness. That's what the Four of Wands is. It's emotional happiness. Or you may get that happiness through a new love connection, or you may get that happiness through a rekindling of a love connection. Or you may get that happiness through news of a financial situation, something that helps your financial situation, a job, or just an opportunity. I'll just keep it to that word, an opportunity. And the Eight of Wands is also fast movement. It is the fastest card in the entire tarot deck, the Eight of Wands. Now, in the Rider-Waite tarot and several other decks, you'll have the wands, 8 of them, shooting this way, fast movement. Here we have unicorns stampeding, and they know exactly where they're going. They do not question where they're going. They know where they need to go, and that is you. It's a beautiful thing, people. We have the Ace of Wands again. Emotional fresh start. That's what the Ace of Wands is. Emotional fresh start. So you've already got that either coming to you, or you're just gotten into that energy of emotional fresh starts because of the inner work you've done. And just letting go of one single resentment can be huge in opening you up, because it's such a contrast between how you were feeling before you let it go and how you feel now that you have. But you've got more work to do in that. And you got this. The Strength card says you got this. Spirit says you're about, karma-wise, you're about to clear up a whole bunch of karmic debt from this lifetime and the past lifetime. And you may not have to interact with the person who is involved in that particular situation or the situations. You may not have to physically interact with them. You can clear up personal karma on your own. That other person doesn't have to be present or even aware that you're doing it. You can do that on your own. So I have a little thing that I tell my listeners. I tell my listeners to do this one little thing. It's very simple. You can burn a candle. You don't have to. It doesn't matter. It's about the intention. Anything I tell you that sounds like a spell, which I don't really use that word, manifestation is the real word. So if I want to manifest being free of a person, place, or thing, I close my eyes and I visually imagine that energetic cord, which is a real thing. It's a thing. It's real. That energetic cord between you and a person, a place, or a thing, that's a real thing. Okay? You close your eyes, you imagine yourself on one end of the cord and that person, place, or thing on the other end of the cord, and you visually imagine yourself snipping that cord with a pair of scissors. And you visually, in your head, watch that person, place, or thing fall away from you. And that's the end of it. It might take a couple of days to take effect, but it's very effective. It's very effective. So that person, place, or that person does not have to interact with you physically for you to let go of them. I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's pretty much what you did when you let go of the resentments and the anger. You cut the cord. And when we do that, because all of us do, when we do that, when we hold on to a resentment or anger, we are creating that the way that feels. We create the way that feels. And for some of you, and for some of us, we just don't know anything different. Haven't known anything different, because big changes are coming. Big change is already happening to everyone. You're in a beautiful time to be on the planet. You really are. And you chose this. You wanted to witness the reawakening and experience the reawakening. And which most people call our awakening, but we were awake when we were born. So this is a reawakening. Pardon me. All right, I had to pick something up. So we have the King of Wands. Lots of wands, lots of movement. See, that's what I'm saying. Even though the Page of Pentacles, they're slow-moving energy, we're going to call that grounded energy. Because we have the Chariot and we have a bunch of wands, swift movement. So whatever you're trying to manifest is going to start showing itself right in your face. Show itself. It's going to start showing itself. It's not going to come to full fruition yet, but look for it around the 3rd week of September after Mercury, after we're out of the shadow. Mercury shadow phase. because we'll feel Mercury 3 weeks before, 3 weeks of, and 3 weeks after. Give or take, it's different for everybody. I've been feeling it since the 1st of June. I'm just ultra sensitive to retrogrades, probably because they scared the crap out of me for the longest time. Uh, oh, what do you mean I got to slow down? What are you talking about? So, anyway, so we have the King of Wands, which means that king is not afraid to move forward. He's already secure. He's a king, for crying out loud. He's already secure. What's he got to lose? Might as well move forward. Maybe he's bored. Maybe he wants more. Even though he's secure, maybe he wants something more. Maybe he wants something spiritual. Maybe he wants something, a new relationship. Maybe he wants to get a pet. Maybe he wants to travel the world. The king can do whatever he wants. But guaranteed, when the King of Wands does something, he does it quickly. He doesn't sit on his butt and think about it. He does it quickly. That's you. That's one of your attributes. Is once you make up your mind, that's the end of it. You're doing it. And you don't waste any time. All right. And we did the Page of Pentacles. So let's look at the bottom cards. The other two bottom cards. We have the Nine of Swords, and that's talking about that second message. She's resting after battle. The crows are just waiting around on her swords, waiting to give her the next message for the next thing she needs to do. The next piece of guidance. Not necessarily another battle, but the next piece of guidance. Although right now we are all fighting battles. I really don't like the word fighting, but we're all going through stuff. We're all being given opportunities to move through things all at once. Yep. Pretty overwhelming sometimes. Faith and trust and hope. Those are your keywords for today. 3 keywords. All right, so yeah, the Nine of Swords, she's resting. Again, you've made great strides now. It's time for a pause to rest so you can let the walls begin to fall away. You're starting to feel smothered, Scorpio. Starting to feel smothered, being stuck in the same thought patterns. Some of the same situations. Some of the same people. So, look at this drop in resentments as you letting go of people whose presence in your life doesn't serve your higher purpose anymore. Obviously, it did serve a purpose because you've learned something from it. You learned a lesson from it. But you're done with a lesson. You can let go now. You don't have to hang on to that lesson. You've learned it. You're good. Move on. It's all good. Just keep pushing forward because you're doing just fine. Doing just fine. And the other King of Swords. Okay, here's another sword. Cutting through the BS. So, yeah, I mean, that's representing you as well. When the stranger approaches you and tries to talk to you about this other person that you used to deal with, you're going to need this energy. Swords is cutting through the BS. And the king, again, what's he got to lose? He's got everything. He's got nothing better to do than to cut through the BS and get to the truth and get the clarity that he needs. And he's the king. So once he gets the clarity, he passes that clarity on to everybody else because he's the king. All right. Let's get some words. Timer says 34, so look for a 3, a 4, and a 7 today. Angel numbers. Moon. Things have been made clear to you. Let me see, who do we have for that? We have the King of Swords for that. Things have been made clear. Okay? And either you will or you have already done a little bit of backstepping and gone back into this energy, but the moon has things have made things clear. That's what, I mean, the moon clarifies things. It brings things to light. It's very much like the sun. It brings things to light. Okay. But the moon brings things that were hidden to light. And the sun brings things that are brand new to light. What should I say? Yeah, so again, the stranger. You're going to ask yourself this question, what should I say? And I can't tell you what your decision is going to be. It's different for everybody. If it benefits you to speak your truth and do so, say yes. If it doesn't benefit you, or it really scares you, or the person is dangerous in some way, shape, or form, say no. That's all. You won't be asking this question to yourself for very long. You're not going to have to sit and mull it over for that long. You know what to do. You have intuition. You know what to do. Whether it's the yes or the no, you'll figure it out. But whatever choice you make is going to be the right choice for you. Even if you make a choice that causes you to have to learn a lesson over again. If we have to go back and learn a lesson over again, we weren't done learning it in the first place. But just don't get stuck in it. Don't get stuck in it. It isn't worth it. Your well-being is on the line. Your spiritual growth is on the line. That's all that matters. Excuse me, that's hiccups again. That's all that matters. That's all that matters is your well-being. And you know very well, you don't have to screw somebody around in order to have your needs met. But I feel like this stranger, or this person from your past, and this comes up in every reading too, somebody from the past, I feel like they don't care about your well-being. If they did, they'd have left you alone in the first place. And again, they wouldn't have gone through a third party to come to you, to come at you. That third party thing was a huge energy for like 2 or 3 months. And there's still some leftover of it there. But you don't have to deal if you don't want to. See, me, I wouldn't. The big red flag would go up as soon as I realized that they had to go through a third party to come at me. I don't care if they're afraid of me. Have the courage to come at me yourself. So anyway, for me personally, that would be a huge red flag. But you got to do what you got to do. And if you feel you need to speak to that person, then that's what you have to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Not a thing. Stars. So we're going to take that as a star, which is wishes coming through. I think Spirit mentioned that things are starting to peek through. Now, before the retrograde, Mercury retrograde ends, things will be very prominent. These beginnings of the manifestations that you've put out there are, the evidence is going to be right there. It's going to be hard to miss. And then by the end of the 3 weeks after the shadow phase of the retrograde, second or third week of September, give or take. It's not written in stone. The timeline isn't written in stone. But about 3 weeks after that, so like third week of September, something is going to come at you quickly. All these other things are coming at you quickly. But these are like stuff you need to finish working out, or manifestations that you've had you put out a long time ago. But the real the bigger stuff, I was going to say the real important, but that's not right. It's condescending. The real big stuff, the real big manifestations aren't going to happen until about the third week of September. But you're going to see evidence of those things. More than one thing. Because these are multiple doors opening. It's not just one door or 2 doors. There's multiple doors opening. And that's partially what this means too. I mean, that this can can be about that too, which, you know, I got all these cups in front of me. They're empty, right? But you don't see that one. And so that spirit saying that a bunch of opportunities are going to come at you, but you may not see them. So pay attention. Be open and accepting of the signs and signals and that the universe is putting out, that source is putting out, that spirit's putting out. Because you're protected. We're all protected right now. And that doesn't mean bad things or undesirable things won't happen. They will, but you're still protected. Life has to happen. But you're protected against stuff that's detrimental to you. And the reason that you're protected is because of that inner work and because of your willingness and openness for change. So that's why you're being told to take a pause, take a rest. Because the changes are overwhelming because there's so many all at once, right? So you might need to take a break, and not even a long break, from overthinking or from thinking, period. Go have some fun. Spend time with family. Go outside. Take a bubble bath. Take a sea salt bath. Just do something for yourself that doesn't have anything to do with spiritual growth. Just for a minute, so you can be reminded that you're still a human being that's living on Earth School. You're still living on the planet. Sometimes we need to be reminded of that, even when we're doing this huge spiritual work. Because we need to learn how to balance ourselves, live between the 3D, down here on Earth, and the 5D, or the 4D, wherever you're headed towards next. There's a balance there. Personally, I'd like to be in the 4 and 5D always. But I'd never get anything done down here. I'd just sit here. I'd sit here and stare off into space all day. And sometimes I do. Not all day, but you know what I mean. I get sidetracked and just want to be with spirit. I just want to be with source. It feels so good to be connected to something bigger than ourselves. So it's euphoric for me. Anyway, enough about Shelley. All right. One more word and then we'll do the oracles. Dieting. Okay. Got to take them as they come. Talk to me, spirit. Yeah, some of you are working on your health. Eating better. Maybe a little exercise. But not too much. Because you may want to overdo the exercise. Start slow. Chair Pilates. Chair yoga. Wall Pilates, wall yoga. Something low impact. Because if you try to do too much, one, you're going to hurt yourself physically. And two, you're going to get overwhelmed. Then you're not going to do it at all. And that goes for the dieting too. Have a cheat day. It is suggested to have a cheat day. Not just by me or spirit. It is a solid suggestion. My mother was involved in a dieting support group for years and years. And even they said, excuse me, have a cheat day. Once every 2 weeks, once a month, once a week, whatever you think you can handle. So don't overdo it on the getting your health together thing. Because the smallest action in regards to healthcare, personal healthcare, is going to have an effect. So you're doing fine. You don't have to do everything all at once. Slow and steady wins a race, guys. Slow and steady. So, Oracle. All right, this one from the Angel Oracle is Joy. I will read it to you. It is very small. Joy is the highest energy of all. It's a magical sense that everything is possible. Joy springs from appreciating the gifts within each moment. Joy allows you to attract and create your present and future moments at their highest possible levels. So don't worry, be happy. Joy feels much better than anger. Anger just feels familiar. And it's for some of us, that's our go-to emotion, is anger. But it's getting old. You're going to be all right. You got this. You're fine. You're fine. Learning to love myself from the Healing Energy Oracle. Learning to love myself. I choose to see the beauty in me. My wealth lies in my natural... Let me start that over again. I choose to see the beauty in me. My wealth lies in my nature and potential. I transform my weaknesses into strengths. I realize that I am a being of light and that I allow myself to shine. All right, you guys, this is a pretty good reading. Nothing huge, except for that really great inner work you're doing. Be wary of the stranger. Make the choice that fits you best. You got offers coming in. You've got messages coming in. Quickly. And you're going to make the right choice no matter what. Okay? Love and light and blessings.